So let's get into more detail around leverage and let's start to understand that. Most businesses, when you think about it, they're not designed around make a sale once and keep getting paid long term. Most businesses are designed around find a customer once, sell it to them, and then they never buy from you again. Every business that I go into is designed. Why did I go into the dog food business? Because when you get a customer, how long do they have to keep feeding their dog for? Forever. If they don't feed their dog, what happens? I was going to say it barks at them, not it dies, but okay, that happens too. You know, you think about it, you get a new customer, they come back again and again and again and again and again. Why did I have hairdressing salons? Because hair grows back, okay? Well, most people it does, thank you for pointing that out. But for most people, hair grows back. You know, beauty salons, why? Because women keep going back. Why do I have all these businesses? See, it's a simple thing that you have to have in business. How do you get them keep coming back? It's tough to get a new customer. You want them to keep buying. What else is leverage in a business? Is the model of the business designed around leverage? Have you ever heard of the company called Mr. Rentals? Anyone ever heard of Mr. Rentals? So here's this company renting white goods fridges. I actually was the founding partner in that company, set it up, franchised it. I then sold out because that's what I do. I start and sell companies. And nowadays, but here's the simple thing. You get a customer, you rent them a fridge. Literally, within 9 months, you've got 100% of your money back. You'll rent it to them for another 5 years. Then you'll sell it for half of what you paid for it in the beginning. Is that pretty good leverage, yes or no? You know, start thinking about your business in terms of leverage. Is there more business coming your way? Does it get easier as it grows? Another simple example. A friend of mine owned a car wash business. And in the car wash business, he was a genius at selling the wax. You know how when you go through the option, you have the press, yes, I'll take the wax option and the special banana stuff and all of those sorts of things. That stuff costs them almost nothing and it's an extra $1 for you, so it's all profit to them. He was selling 80 to 90% of his customers the wax option. Most car washers sold their customers the wax, sold about 10 to 20% of their customers the wax option. He was like, well, how do I make a lot of money out of this? And I sat down with him and talked to him. Long story short, he really didn't understand leverage. I did. And I also understood this next point. It's called scalability. What's it called, gang? The definition of scalability is the next sale costs less and is easier. The next sale costs less and is easier. So I'm sitting down chatting with him about this whole thing. And I said, listen, what you've actually got to do is invent a wax. And you've got to go out and market it based on, if you buy our wax, we guarantee 50% of people will use the wax option. He said, but Brad, I don't know how to invent a wax. I said, of course you do. Can you ring the wax people and say, can you put it in a different bucket, in a different color, with a different label? Yes, you've now invented a wax. It's not that hard. Can you all be an inventor at that point, yes or no? You know, and this is the thing, it was the marketing of it, it was all of that stuff of it. But leverage-wise, how much easier is it for him to have a business where he has someone manufacturing wax and he just sells it to people than going around training people, going around doing all the things, licensing it, franchise? So much simpler, so much so that last year he did 49 million in wax sales. You know, start thinking in terms of leverage and scalability. There's so many opportunities everywhere when you think in terms of leverage and scalability. How much leverage is there in this thing? A bottle of water, enormous leverage. How scalable is the business of providing water bottles to people? Massively scalable. Simple example of that, vitamin water and what was the other one? Smart water. The company that started vitamin water and smart water sold out to Coca-Cola a year ago for $4 billion. What business are you in all of a sudden? You've got to start thinking in these terms because too many businesses, as they sell more, it gets harder. You know, they don't think in terms of new opportunities. They don't think in terms of leverage. They don't think in terms of scalability. And then they wonder why business gets harder and harder and harder. Think about iTunes in terms of scalability. Is selling the next piece of music easier than it was to sell the last one? Yes or no? Cheaper even, and that's the thing. See, iTunes revolutionized business because of leverage and scalability. It totally changed the way it happened for Apple. Now you look at their profitability, it's amazing. But where are you thinking of leverage and scalability? At what level are you thinking with this sort of stuff? We've got to make sure that our business gets easier to grow. And then finally, the fourth area that we have to think of when we're building a business is marketability. What's it called, everyone? Is the product or service marketable? Is it easy to go and market this thing? Is it easy to run ads? Is it easy to get new customers? Or is it damn tough to go and get new business? Is it hard to get new business? Marketability is a very important aspect behind this. Who you market to is a very important aspect. That one's a simple one. Think of Cirque du Soleil. Haven't you been to a Cirque du Soleil show? There's one in town here recently, or coming up, is it? You know, I saw an ad for it. So here's a company that they ran a circus, right? And they sat down and said, hang on a second. The circus industry, we've got to rethink it. We've got to rethink it because people, they're selling it to kids. It was a $10 ticket for a kid to go to the normal circus. And they're sitting there looking at it, and again, look at different industries. What industries do you think they started looking at? Broadway, they went down and saw musical plays, and how much were people paying for tickets to go and see a musical, to go and see The Lion King, to go and see how much? $200. You know, expensive tickets. Then they looked at the rock and roll industry, concerts. How much were people paying to go and see a decent concert these days? Couple $100. And they're sitting there saying, why are we selling a $10 ticket when we could be selling a $200 ticket? Because it wasn't what? Marketable. It was hard to market a $10 ticket to kids. There was not enough profit in it to market it, sort of thing. So they reinvented the whole product and sat down and said, this is far more marketable. We're not selling to kids anymore, we're selling to adults. We can sell to people and they come and buy alcohol. There's even more profit. We come and sell to people, they'll buy the program. We come and sell, we get rid of the things that we don't want to have, the animals, all of that. People want loud music. Great, we'll put musicians in there. They want this type of action, we'll put that in there. They've got a marketable product. Too often people are so convinced to keep selling the same old thing, the same circus in the same way. It's still got the same carnies running it today that ran it 50 years ago. Yeah, and it doesn't work. You've got to rethink marketability of your product or service. Are you selling what people want to buy, or are you selling what you want to sell?